Well, welcome to another YouTube video of Chappie's Travels, Maintenance Part 2. If you saw Maintenance Part 1, we did the outside of the caravan. What you need, or you should check, to ensure you don't have a breakdown when you're out there on a holiday, and also to assist you in having to worry about the trauma of warranty. And let me tell you, it doesn't matter what you got, something's going to break down somewhere along the line. Because like I said, nothing in this world is perfect. You take the space shuttles, you take submarines, through the military, whatever it is out there, you're going to have your breakdowns. But what we need to do is do what we can to minimise the stoppages in whatever you're doing. So in this video, I'm going to take you around the inside of our Snowy River caravan, which I absolutely love, and give you a few tips on what we do to make sure we minimise the breakages or need for warranty. And let's be honest, we've not used warranty at all, and we're 2 years in. Let's go. Now let's start off by telling you, I'm not going to bung it on, this is not a display caravan. This is our home on wheels, or like I say, our dollhouse on wheels. So we're going to have a bit of stuff in the sink or in the dish rack. And when we get to our places, we drop the air fryer up, especially if you're on 240. Mama Bear has a toaster in the jug. She also has a little rack on the wall to which you get from Bunnings or those places, whatever those lock things on the wall. But like I was saying the other day, from the rear wheels back is like a tail on a horse. It's flapping. And that's really in our caravan from about here. That's right, from about here, where the oven stands. And what do we have from the oven backwards? Well, we've got the pantry cupboards, which we'll get into. We have the refrigerator, freezer, and we hear about a lot of faults happening with them things thrown around. And we have the ensuite. You might have a bed that's at the front or a door that's at the front. So your bed's at the front, well, things could be different what you have down the back. But this is what we have here. And like I said in the last video, anything rear of the rear axle is going to be flapping around like a horse's tail, just blowing in the wind. And that's just a part of life we need to work on. So what have we done to prevent that? And what do I do to ensure our cupboards, etc., stay closed? Well, let's start with the cupboards, okay? Well, for starters, what I've done is we've put these baby locks across here, okay, as you can see. And that is our last resort. But before that, we'll open her up here and we'll have a look in here. And to maintain everything stays in there, we actually brought this netting. Now, you can purchase that netting off eBay. Don't ask me what it is, but have a look around, hunt yourself and you'll find it. In fact, I think, yes, it's got a pocket in it. So you understand what I am. Anyway, we've hooked that on to keep our goods and chattels in there. In fact, on this one here, we've even insulated it, because as you know, they can get a bit warm. But what's the first thing I did? Well, this cupboard, it wouldn't stay locked when we first got it. So what I did, I come in here, and this is where it's handy if you become a bit of a handyman, and I adjusted this mechanism here. Okay, not sure if you can see that. And once I adjusted this mechanism here, had a look at this, made sure they were tight, it then closed and it locked. You'll know if it's not locking, there's a little button on the end here, just here. And if it's sticking out, you know it's not happening. But like I said, our last resort to make sure things are in is we put a baby lock on. Not that we necessarily need to use it, but that's just like we like to do. Hands like this one up here, where Mama Bear has all the spices, etc. We check the lock, and we put the baby lock on, and that will prevent anything from falling out. How good is that? They call it ingenuity on the farm. Well, I don't. I call it ingenuity in the caravan. What are some other things to check on your cabinets? Let's have a look here, eh? Well, this cabinet here, this is in fact our medicine cabinet. And hence you'll see I've insulated again just to try and drop the temperature a bit. And we actually put our tablets into a little working esky to keep them cooler again. Look, it doesn't make it like a fridge, but it keeps it cool. But some of the things you need to check inside your cabinets when you get it every now and then are the hinges up here. Remember, they're hooked in, and just like your cabinets at home, these can come undone or come loose and they need adjusting. Also your struts. Have a good look at your struts. If your cabinet's not staying open, you know one of these struts have gone. And it's going to happen, you know. Wherever we were, somewhere, I think it was up in Townsville. A couple of struts on the window, which we'll get to later on. One of them was a bit shot. So I went to Bunnings, to which they have them. Then I went to another place that specifically dealt with struts for caravans, looked at theirs, but then I found a guy who actually builds them himself. So I went that way. And I tell you what, it was worth it. I brought some extras for all around the caravan. And I tell you, it was well worth it going into an independent guy who designed the struts. Well, they're any other strut, but he gassed them up himself. And I brought some spares. I got them in the toolbox, different sizes around the caravan for the windows, for the cupboards, and for the smaller ensuite window, which you'll find the same size as this. So just when you're looking at your cabinets, if you're feeling your cabinets are getting a bit loose, pull your screwdriver out. Where's my screwdriver? Have a look at your little hinges up here, making sure they're right, making sure your struts are right, making sure nothing's poking too far out of the cabinet so it can't close, and you'll hear that nice lock. And again, the little switch in here is flat and par with the rest of the handle. Let me show you a problem with a drawer we had. And the cheese and kisses, the missus, had to put it on a checklist every time we're moving around. Now, I'm not sure if you can see this or not, but when you close this, she looks like it's closed, okay? Well, it is. It looks like it's closed, okay? But what was happening, this latch here wasn't clicking out, meaning it wasn't locking in. And there you go, she just opened. And of course, driving along, your drawer's just going back and forth, as you can see. So what it was this here wasn't locking. So I got Alison, I said, mate, when you're closing it, just give that extra push and you'll hear the click. There you go, and she's now secure. Do it on all of them, because again, see that there? Give it that extra, and she's locked in. Locked in tight. So like I keep saying, a lot of the little challenges you have in your caravan can be rectified by the operator. I keep saying, be the captain of your ship. Just ensuring things are right. Have a screwdriver handy. If you can adjust it, give it a go. Pretend you're on a deserted island, you've got to look after yourself. No use calling a warranty just because you got a loose bloody latch. Sort it yourself. Anyway, let's go up to the refrigerator and let me show you up there, eh? Well, the first thing you need to do is make sure when you're traveling that you lock your fridges. You got latches on your fridge, and if you look up here further, you've got a couple of latches on your freezer. Make sure they're locked, because if they're not locked, there's an opportunity for the fridge door or the freezer door to, you know what, come swinging open, and all your goods and chattels going everywhere. Now, whilst we've got the fridge open, these shelves are not concrete slabs. They're not built to take a ton of weight. And I've seen friends and I've seen everyone overload their bloody shelves with more bloody weight than you can put in a trailer itself. So concentrate on keeping them even. Then these shelves won't break out and snap through your wall for your latch. Remember, there's only a certain weight they can take, so don't load them up with booze or don't load them up with all the heavy stuff. Make it look reasonable. Another thing my girl does, the cheese and kisses the missus, is she uses these, let me get it, here we go, she uses these. And what the score is of these babies is that she'll put them in the drawer here, if I can work it out because I don't normally do it. She'll put them in here before we're going, and then she'll wind it up, and that there prevents stuff from falling out. We've never had a problem. Never had a problem whatsoever. So look after your fridge. Don't throw too much weight in it because it's not a storage unit. Now we're in one of my favourite parts of the caravan, and that's the ensuite. And another thing I hear people talk about is that the shower is leaking onto the floor into the rest of the caravan. Again, that's just a simple fix. It's a bit of silicone, which I'm going to show you. Because remember, the ensuite is very much rear to the rear axle, basically on the butt end of the caravan. So it's moving around and moving around. And I don't care what sort of silicone you got, there's going to be movement, it's going to break off. Have a look at ours. I've actually got to clean it all out and redo it again, but I just wanted you to see what I've done over the last 2 years. And you can see because it's gone a bit yellow because I knew we had a leak. Come down here. As you can see there, all the colouring, etc. is around that. And that's because I've used different types of silicone to seal it, to prevent it from leaking onto the floor in the main part of the caravan. So get yourself some good waterproof silicone, give it a tidy up and seal around the edge there. Let it set before you use it again. And if she's still leaking, give it another squirt and see how it goes. You'll find you'll fix it. But remember, it's moving. I know that looks absolutely ugly, and that's a task I've got to do tomorrow or the next day. Tear all that up and re-silicone it for the next 2 years. Well, we're up in the bedroom area now. I'm going to talk about windows. Not just the windows in the bedroom, but the windows all around. This is your opportunity to check your locks and make sure they're right. But let me tell you, these blackout sliders, they do deteriorate on the sides here. And I don't know with this design if there's anything else you can do, but when I'm ready to replace them, I'll see if I can replace them with something else. But when you're checking your mirrors or your windows, and you got your locks, never try and force them. Make sure you got the button in and do it gently and close them. Because you know what happens when you force something, you normally break it. But you know, unlock it, make sure she's right, open it up, ensure the struts are good, which these struts are. The laminate is good. Make sure you got no blockages. Come here, I'll show you. Make sure you're cleaned out in your valleys here. You don't want junk in them. Give them a bit of a clean. Make them tidy, and your mechanisms are working fine. And like I said, never force them. Just gently close them. And sort of before we close down on today's, it's pretty simple, isn't it? When you're packing up and going, and I'm not trying to tell you to suck eggs, but remove your television, okay? Remove your television, put it flat on your bed, and yeah, get it all happening. Best if you remove the other stuff off it first. But yeah, put it flat on the bed and pack things around it. Then you won't have your television coming off. Here's another little thing, my television antenna wasn't working. Now I could have called in warranty and said something's going wrong, I don't know what it is. But after some fault finding, I found out there's just the antenna booster. It lasted 2 years. And they must break down because you can buy new ones. Just a matter of getting onto eBay, seeing what sort you've got and ordering one. I think it was $50. Okay, so yes, but you know, I shouldn't have to buy it. Why shouldn't you? So the antenna booster pulled the pin after a couple of years. It happens. So I ordered one for eBay. It should be arriving shortly. And it's just a matter of undoing the plugs, plugging the power in, 12 volt that is, hooking the antennas from this back onto the new one, and we'll be rocking and rolling again. So that's pretty brief. It's pretty simple. It's all self-explanatory. Get yourself a little screwdriver. Normally it's a Phillips head. Have yourself a pair of pliers. That's all you need. If there's something you don't know how to do, get onto YouTube. But not everything needs to go back to warranty. It's going to cause you more stress. Doesn't matter what company or whatever you're doing, whatever you got, than what you need to do. Some things you can fix yourself, and that's not voiding the warranty, let me tell you. It's called owner maintenance, and that's what we need to think about. Okay? You're going out there on the road, whatever you're doing, you've got to hook the caravan up to your vehicle, you've got to plug your cables into your vehicle, you've got to check the tyre pressures of your vehicle, all that sort of stuff you need to do, and that's the responsibility of the driver or the operator. Same on the inside. Go across and make sure those things I went through are all complete and all sorted. And if something needs to be fixed, and it's an easy fix you can do yourself, and it's cost effective, you might as well do it yourself. Makes it more fun too. You get a self of achievement. Anyway, people, thanks for watching old Chappie here. Look after yourself. Enjoy caravanning, because by geez, it's a great life. And remember, if you're not caravanning, why not? See ya, people.